What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I've gotten swamped with work. I fix fire trucks for a living. I also sell them, and I got a little swamped with work. The freeze that we had, I had a fire department that they had some busted piping, so I had to go help them out. And then also had another fire department that had been pending PMs, and I finally got them done. So I'm almost ready to get back on this project, but for the time being, because here in my garage, square footage is a problem. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna move this truck back outside for a minute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my kayak mounted up over there. I'm probably gonna go record that, but I'm gonna do it for my fishing YouTube channel, which is Playing Hooky with David Chapa. So I'm gonna do that to get my kayak up there, and that way I can have more space to work on the engine. But for now, if you don't mind watching this pre-recorded video from like almost a year ago, when I first got my work truck, I had a shifter that was like the shifter on for the 5-speed wasn't working that good, and I had done a video when I had plans for a different channel, but you know, I changed it up and whatnot. Anyways, this is the pre-recorded video, so please enjoy this for this week, and I'll get back on this. Cool? See you later. Get your motor running, head out on the highway, looking for adventure, or whatever comes our way. I was born nature's child. I was born to be wild, flying so high, never gonna die. Born to be wild. Man, that was me. And I also got this truck. This is supposed to be my work truck. I do have a company, a mobile mechanic service, and I got this truck for that. Don't know how well that's going to end up turning out, but for now, I can do, there's work that needs to be done to it, and it'll benefit, you know, my company and or myself if, you know, things don't go as planned. So anywho, this does have an inline 6. It's an F-150 94 F-150 extended cab with the long bed. I don't really see too many of these around. This is actually the first one I've ever seen of these, and I've already actually gotten some stuff for it. So I'm probably gonna be able to do a couple videos here, but this truck is actually pretty clean. The bed is not too rough. What my dad and I are thinking is that this used to belong to like an older gentleman that had like a camper or something on it, you know, with these bolt holes and everything. But I'm gonna get that taken care of. She's pretty clean. You know, she's a little bit rough around the edges, but we'll get her taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So it is she is the straight 6 engine and a manual transmission. This was the biggest thing that I loved about this truck, is that it has a manual transmission. So that's what we're actually going to be working on today. The manual transmission is actually really good, with the exception of 2 things. It leaks oil, and that shifter, it's sloppy. Look, check this out. Okay, can't find neutral again. Okay, there's neutral first, and it's sloppy. Should not do that. And the best part of it, that's fine. Okay, that's third, and look what third does. It just fell out of third again. That's what third does. Third should not do that. So that's actually what I'm going to be working on today. I'm going to get this shifter going. I'm going to fix that oil leak. And after those two things, this transmission is going to be perfect. Okay. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but right there, that seal right there is the one that's leaking. And it's actually pretty easy to do. All you got to do is go all the way back there, disconnect the drive shaft, disconnect the carrier bearing. So you disconnect the carrier bearing, disconnect the flange over there, the drive shaft flange, and then that should slide right out, and you can pop that seal off and just replace it, which is what I'm going to do later after I work on that shifter up there. And just to show a little more, yes, the engine is also leaking, which it looks like it's the oil pan. The valve cover is also leaking, and as well as the lifter cover. The lifter cover is also leaking. So we're going to be taking care of those things. That way, you know, we don't aggravate the wife with that leak right there. And yeah. Oh yeah, and she still got her stock exhaust and everything. So we're gonna be doing some upgrades. There's a lot of plans for this truck. I'll be going over it with you in the future. But yeah. So that's the leak we're gonna be working on today. Okay, so on this truck, I'm gonna have to sit on here a little funny because we know I'm not the lightest guy or whatnot, so this center console might not be the strongest to hold up a 250-pound guy. But anywho, so let me try to get the best spot here. So the parts I'm going to be using to fix the shifter today is it's a Napa Solutions. There's a part number. It's actually not that expensive from Napa. Right now I have the parking brake set so that we don't roll away. But this is the part number from Napa. I'm actually a fan of Napa. This is not sponsored. I truly like Napa, especially my Napa here in my hometown. The guys are great, and they've always offered me good service. When I go to some other parts stores, sometimes they tell me, sorry, we can't help you with what you want. So I go to Napa, and they find a way to get it for me. Like whatever it is I need, they find a way to get it. So that's why I like going to Napa. And so I keep going to them, keep giving them business. And this is the Napa Solutions part for this shifter. And it's rather simple. There's other YouTubers that have done this. This is actually going to be my first time doing it. So, I had to, I go to YouTube myself to look how to do stuff, just because, other people figure out, ways to do things easier, faster, and whatnot. So why not, follow their advice, especially if they already put it out there for the world to see. So again, this shifter is sloppy. Third gear bangs. So we're going to fix that right now. And I'm sorry, I've got y'all on the chesty. I'm sorry if this doesn't look good, but I'm going to do my best. So there's Okay, there's neutral. As you can see, it's, you know, real rough to figure it out here, but you just got to pull out the 4 screws, which this one has already been changed because, you know, other people have already been in here and probably already jacked it up. So I'm probably gonna end up in the long run changing out this shifter. So we got 3 of the same screw that somebody else has already popped out, and 1 actual screw. Then you fold it over, pop off this cover, stop it. Okay, then supposed to take this off. Looks like I'm gonna need some penetrating oil, so you're supposed to take this bolt off. It's a special type of bolt. You take it off here, you put it on the other side. It's kind of like a press fit. You put the nut on the other side and it pulls it off, and then the shifter can come off. So I think they said it was a 17. Let me go get the wrench. This might be a better angle. Son of a... So sometimes when it's press fit like that and they get real tight, there it goes. Sometimes a little percussion vibration helps loosen stuff, although I don't think that did much for me. But she's coming out. Okay, I think I actually bottomed it out there. There it goes. Catch it. Go the shifter. Okay. And it's beveled, so there's one way it goes on. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. Don't worry, I'm not gonna take my clothes off. Okay. Pull up and tap. There we go. Now we need to okay. Now she's in neutral. Okay. Actually, I think that's the exact one I need. So they say these Ford puts the T25 screws in here. So there's a chance that this is all factory parts. Now, to make things easier on myself, I get a shorter, magnetized, set it aside. Okay, and then all this should be able to come out at once. Wow, the stuff you find. Oh wow, that's trashed. That is not good. All that. Oh, great. My goodness. I hope I can save this transmission. That's metal pieces in there. Great. Well, I'm gonna have to repair it. There's no way around it. Okay, let me see what I can do. Let's hope I can save this transmission. Everything was gone and there was metal in there. I probably got lucky and what am I doing this for? I know I got brake cleaner.
Okay, it's gonna be good for now. Let me. And those hose clamps is telling me that those pins, oh my goodness, those pins are barely on there. This was not what I wanted to find. Okay, grab this. And yank. There we go. It should not be that chewed up. Okay. Take my pliers. Okay. There it goes. Wow. This is not what I wanted to find. I did not want to find that. Okay. Got that washer out of there. me see if I can clean the rest of this up. Those shavings are gonna be a nightmare. But what I can always do is flush the transmission. I need to change the fluid anyways. So let's get this as clean as possible, especially here at the seal. I'm not going to be able to drive it after this until I change out the fluid, which thankfully won't be that hard. But okay. It's got instructions on how to put it all back together. But it's pretty simple. Now they do say that it's best to do this with the transmission out of the truck. However, I did see that it can be done with it in the truck. Oh, goodness. Okay. So okay, that was just a screw. Press out the two shift pins. Remove any plastic bushing, springs, or spacers from the... Install the new lower bushing as shown. Press in new pins to place. Apply thin layer of grease into grease to shaft. Orient shaft and install upper bushing. Okay, so these two bushings are the same. The washer. The spring washer, I believe, goes on the top. It's upper bushing. Install wave spring center on upper bushing. Yeah, okay. So it's got two notches here, and you want to align those with where the bushings are supposed to go, where these pins are supposed to go. This seal goes on top. Those screws go in there. So these pins go in on the side. That was a little too easy. Oops. Despite what I know I should do and what's right, sometimes you gotta go back in with the mess someone else left you. However, should at least make it a little bit better. And the only reason why this washer is so busted up like that is from years of use with it busted. No one ever fixing it. This is a simple project. This really is a simple project. It can be done pretty quickly if you know what you're doing. This is my first time doing it, and I'm showing you all how to do it, and it's going pretty quickly. It's scalded up from poor maintenance. I'm gonna install it upside down from the original, and I'm probably gonna do 90. Change it up. Now I'm gonna install my bushing where it's supposed to be. Okay, this is something that another guy had to do too, because another gentleman had the same issue, and this is what that mechanic ended up having to do that I watched on YouTube. He just ended up putting Loctite, and hopefully this will retain it. Okay. The other side's not so bad, but we want to give this the best possible outcome. Because it should not go on that hard or that easy. It should not go on that easy. And I'm probably going to have some Ford enthusiasts say that I'm messing everything up. And what I gotta say to you guys is, I know. Oh, there's the shifter knob. Okay, and I want to say they said that this beveled edge goes to the front. So let me get this cleaned up, and the instructions do say to grease up the ball. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Now, this notch needs to go to the front. So yes, this is the proper way it goes in. Now that's on there properly. Now it says this bushing needs to go on top of that. The supplied spring washer goes over, and you try to center it as best as you can over the bushing. Now this part goes over. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to reinstall the Ford screws, because those Torx bit screws people have different opinions on them. I actually think they're better than just your standard screws, because the more splines you have, the better your contact is going to be, the more torque you can put on it. That's why they're called torque screws, because you can apply more torque to them. I'm going to start it off by hand, run it down a little bit. And they said just run each one down a little bit at a time, so it goes nice and even. Okay. And you just want to give it a little snug touch. And then this boot is supposed to go over everything. Okay. And there you go. It's in there. Okay, let's find the gear. Fourth gear. Okay, there. I do gotta get this cinched down, so because it might just be slop in the in here that I'm feeling in the knob itself. Okay, we're getting tight. And German spikes should be good enough. Good and tight. Okay, now let's see. That feels a whole lot better. That looks like third. Little bit of slop, but that's a whole lot better. And all we gotta do is re-put the rubber. Okay, that's good enough. Good enough for government work. So it's neutral first. Nice, it's a lot tighter. Third, not hitting the dash anymore. Fourth, fifth, yeah. Okay, well, that's my shifter in a lot better condition now. That's better than what it was. So let's hope it stays like that. Okay. One hour, 5 minutes, and it took me an hour to do, and I didn't. It took me an hour to do, and I don't even know what I'm doing. So at least this is my first time doing it. I knew what I was doing, but it's my first time doing it. It took me an hour. So, okay. onto the bottom. So this part's pretty simple. It's just that seal that I gotta replace. That's a slip yoke there, a carrier bearing there, and a flange back there that I gotta remove. So that flange is pretty easy to do. It's just 4 bolts, 2 bolts for the carrier bearing. So I'll get back to you once I'm ready to replace the seal. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so it turned out all I needed to do was drop the companion. I keep calling it the companion flange. Back there is the companion flange. That's the carrier bearing. All I had to do was remove the carrier bearing, and there was enough slip in both of those yokes for it to come, for the drive shaft to come out. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my screwdriver here, pop that out, and pop in this new one that I also got from Napa. Sorry, I live in a neighborhood and not somewhere where I have all the room to myself. Anyways, so this is also a seal that I got from Napa. And before I remove that one, let me match it up. Ooh. Doesn't look like the right one. Yeah, it slides on there, but that's not the right seal. Okay. Looks like this one's got to go back. Be right back. Ugh. Okay. It is much later in the day. And yeah. Went through a couple of seals. Couldn't find the right one. Finally sourced one that I'm hoping is gonna be it. So it looks promising. Give me a second. Okay. You always want to use the right tool for the right job. But there's always more than one way to skin a cat. Ow. Okay. I'll get back to y'all in a second. I need the room. Okay, now the seal is put in, and a little bit on the rough side, but it's in there. And drive line's back on. So now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drain the oil out of this, see if I can at least save the transmission, get whatever shavings out of there, and then you know, shavings from that boot, and from there take it for a test drive. All right, catch y'all in a second. So it's the next day. I got the transmission filled, I got the seal put on, drive shaft put up and everything. I got to take it for a test drive. It looks like it's doing okay. But now, I actually got called for some work for my company. That's why I'm in uniform right now. So now, I get to take you guys for a test drive. So let me get you set up as a rear passenger, and we'll get going. I think that's a good camera angle. Okay. Oh, I almost spilled my coffee. Okay, so you'll get to see how much better the shifter is, and we'll see how this truck drives. Comes our way. I was born nature's child. I was born to be wild. Flying so high, never gonna die. Born to be wild. Man, that was lame. Come on, oh yeah. I keep doing that. I forget the third's not gonna bite me anymore. It's right there. I'm about to piss off some of y'all, because here I go at a diesel pump with my gas truck. Now, if you also pay attention to the way the truck is driving, it pulls slightly to the left. So I also got to work on the steering on this truck too, because when you have your steering that's not aligned, not driving properly or whatnot, it's gonna burn more. It's gonna burn just a little bit more fuel. Not too crazy, but you know that's a extra load on the vehicle, sort of. But also it's gonna wear down your tires, because essentially you're fighting against your traction, and that's gonna create extra rubbing.